Okay, welcome to Chapter 5, Fire Emblem 4 Ranked Playthrough, with commentary. So the initial map setup, then we're going to have our traditional 2 episodes of nothing but arena and inventory management. So if you are uninterested by that, feel free to skip ahead. If not, continue watching. I'll have the occasional small, perhaps somewhat interesting things to say. But I make no promises as to your general level of enjoyment. So here, Tiltu is maining Tron for a couple of reasons. She doesn't necessarily need it to one-hit KO all of these dudes. There are a few that she does. But the big reason is that Tron is not able to be inherited. So money I don't have to spend repairing Thunder is money that I can pass down, at least a little bit. So Claude's main purpose for the arena, again, is not for the experience, because he's already capped. He's just trying to get his money, so that he can repair the reserve staff by himself. So he's not quite there, but after we soften up a few random numbers, he'll eventually be able to do it. Of course, Sylvia's battles are jokes, as always. They just take forever to reach the punchline. Idine also is capped, so also she's just earning money for staffs. Because staffs. Also inheritance. Sylvia battles actually aren't that bad when she has hit rates in the 90s. Comparatively speaking. Now, while I actually managed to get the High Priests past the forest, I just didn't even bother trying with Navarro, because Navarro's giving some of my, serious combat units troubles, so High Priests with their caps and their growths, I didn't even want to try. Especially considering it was just for money. So I was going to say that I was amazingly pleased with where Dew ended up. He's just 3 gives away from maxing his level, so I don't even have to worry about using him in combat. That was the best news ever. In order to pick up the elite ring here, Arden had to lose the pursuit ring, which he was going to eventually, but it would have been nice if he could have kept both of them just solely for arena purposes. As it is, though, I'll have to massage some of his random numbers in order to get him through. The fact that he can still get through, even though he needs a little bit of massage, is testament to how well he actually fares in combat, assuming he can reach combat. Now again, I'm going to try to use L-Fire where I can, because since I'm not pairing Ozzel, nobody starts out with B fire tomes, so it's just going to rot uninherited for now. However, certain fights are just too tough for L-Fire. I guess I could mention the reason that I'm using Lachesis right now to churn through and get the random numbers I need is because she's not yet level capped. She'll level cap without the elite ring, and so I don't even have to worry about it. I mean, I could just as well be using somebody like Lex or Sigurd, but she was available and I decided, why not? So Noish was just barely short on cash, so he had to put his Iron Lance away for now. He does, of course, need to buy it back for a couple of these fights here. Now, I switched from using bows with Lachesis because that level 5 bow fighter is ridiculous. And the sword fight, even though it was up against a Slayer enemy, was much preferable. So now it doesn't look like Harlan needed the hero sword there, because when he got it, he mauled. I remember trying the Iron Blade, and he was finally struggling against some of the enemies here. The Forest and Navarre, to be exact. Now you'll notice that I didn't even have Levin use Holseti. Testament to his skills that he doesn't need it. Basically just end up picking it up so that I can pass it down. Richard, on the other hand, is needed to rely on Ichivo at least, I think it's something like 10 times at this point. I mean, she's still a good unit, don't get me wrong. She just actually does need her holy weapon. Or I suppose I could have always given her one of, Midor's bows.